Hey, everybody. Welcome to Hot Jobs. I am your guest host today. We almost had Burgess Perry, the CEO of Pink Corps and Veteran Service Brands, joining us, but unfortunately, he had a health issue and couldn't attend. But I did want to start off by welcoming all of you and saying thank you to all of our sponsors. You may actually notice on our first slide, we have our Alliance Program partners. Those are companies that have become alliance partners of higher military and are seeking to attract more veteran talent. So if you get a chance, check out their pages. And of course, if you are interested in getting your residential or commercial painting done, who wouldn't want a veteran to help with that? And that's where you reach out to Veteran Service Brands Paint Corps and invite them to come take a look. Whew, that was a lot. Lucy, thanks for joining us. How are you doing today?
I'm not doing bad at all. Thanks, Mike. Not bad at all. It's really lovely to see everybody here. I've been away for a couple of weeks. It's great to be back. Please do share with us where you are watching from. We want to know where in the world you are viewing our wonderful hot jobs today, but also more importantly, how can we help you? Are you looking for a SkillBridge internship? Is direct hire or a permanent job on your horizon? Do share it with us, including the job title and the location, so that if we can't help you today, we can come back to this live after the event and we can take a look through and see the sorts of roles that you are looking for so that we can connect with future partners in that instance. But back over to you, Mike.
Thanks, Lucy. And I appreciate you adding that. Something I probably should have thought to ask, but it comes out so much better from you. So in our new format, I get 5 minutes to talk about topics that are of interest to me. Lucy's responses do not count in my 5-minute deadline. I just made that rule up. But I did want to share a couple things for all of you. So first thing I wanted to talk about VA healthcare, right? And I'm going to share that I went 6 years thinking TRICARE was enough and not registering for VA healthcare. And I was paying copays for sleep apnea CPAP equipment. I couldn't get exchanges for my insoles. I couldn't get chiropractic care. You know, everything else was wonderful about TRICARE for me and my family, but I wasn't getting everything I could. And I couldn't figure out why I didn't register. And so what I want to share with all of you is eventually I said, why am I not registered? It's free for me. It's an entitlement. I went registered online, just registered for VA healthcare in Google. They called me back within a week to set up my PCM appointment. And I'm telling you, it's been a life changer for me. I now see a chiropractor. It's relieved so much back pain. I also get acupuncture, all covered by the VA. I got new inserts for my shoes. My PCM gave me her phone number and email address on her card. Like, hey, you need help. Like that never happened in my military career. And then today I just had my sleep study virtual appointment with the doctor. They moved all my stuff over to the VA system. She said, we're going to send you a complete, replacement of all your supplies. There's no copay. It comes in the mail. And I just go onto the VA platform and request more, just like I request more medications, prescriptions, and it comes automatically. So I could not be more happier. And that one thing that I want people to keep in mind is, sometimes with the VA healthcare system being so large, if you're calling and you're leaving voicemails, they can get lost in the system. So my advice that's been, approved by most of the people I've dealt with in the VA system, they agreed with me, is to use the My Health Vet app, secure messaging for VA healthcare to send all your requests, your messages, to talk to doctors or anything else, because that system is more easily to track the communication. They have people that are checking and making sure they respond within a timely manner, and you are less likely to get lost. So that's the VA healthcare. I think I've got about 2 minutes left. Lucy's watching with a smile. I am going to pivot and talk about LinkedIn career stuff, and I'm going to talk about open to work. Now, Lucy will talk about whether or not you should turn on open to work, and I agree with what she's going to say. My take is that if you are going to put open to work on your profile, whether or not you put on the banner, if you say to post what jobs you're looking for and you see them sometimes, I always make it a point to go and click support, wish you the best in your search, because I want to help people get it out to more words. But what I see is I click to look at the jobs that they have listed. And then I look at their profile and there's a mismatch, meaning either like the things they list are not really jobs, or they list jobs or ranks or titles, and then I look at their profile and it doesn't reflect that in their headline. It doesn't reflect that in the about section, and it doesn't reflect that in the experience, or I have to hunt for it. In which case I will say you are not the best candidate on paper for those roles. So what I'm going to say is when you use Open to Work, and it is an amazing feature, it increases views 50%, up to about 50% of your profile. Make sure that the jobs you put when you list what you're open for and Open to Work are actual jobs that exist in your area, right? Job titles, search them on job boards. And then when you put those jobs in there, look at your profile and have other mentors look at your profile to make sure that you look like those people. So if you're going to say HR manager, it should say HR manager somewhere in your headline. Your about section should list years of HR management experience or HR experience. And we should be able to see in your experience section either titles or HR related experience that's in keywords listed on those job descriptions. I'm at 5. Over to you, Lucy.
Well, thank you, Michael. I appreciate that. I had a wry smile on my face because you set up so many jokes just now that if I wasn't on mute, I would have just interjected. One of them about your PCM giving her telephone number if you have problems. It was like, if you have problems or you do have problems. And second of all, thanks for telling me that, or telling everybody here that you agree with what I'm about to say. I appreciated that straight away. But Mike's right. From my perspective as a recruiter, I use the back end of LinkedIn, and you may not be familiar that it even exists. Let me tell you, I spend all day, every day there. It's like my own personal search. It's my database of everybody on LinkedIn when I am recruiting for roles. Remember, a recruiter works for the company to find candidates. A recruiter does not work for the candidate to help them find jobs. So I am motivated to support the companies that I partner with to find them the best military affiliated, so veteran or military spouse talent. So from my perspective, when I go in, I click on lots of buttons, lots of areas, one of which being military affiliated. So it will pick up that you've been in the military and it will ping you into a separate pipeline. But something that I look for at a glance when I'm looking through all the candidates that I'm going to connect with is I do an Open to Work banner. It is the simplest way for me to go through because I get 25 candidates, 25 people per page. I skim through, and if you have a green Open to Work banner up, I know that you would be motivated and would want to hear from me. Ultimately, I am a headhunter. I am coming out to you to tell you the role that I have in the hope that you may be interested in hearing more. That is my job. I work with active duty, I work with veterans, I work with military spouses because that is my job in terms of my first love. That is my personal part here. But my professional part is I'm a recruiter. I've been doing this for nearly 25 years, and LinkedIn makes it a lot simpler for us to connect with you, even if we didn't know you existed and you hadn't registered with us. So I know there is a lot of information out there. There's a lot of strong feelings in terms of putting that banner up or not. But I will tell you, if you want to be found by recruiters, so if you want that passive networking and that passive search happening on your behalf, you want the search engine, you want LinkedIn to work for you, I would wholeheartedly, like 10 out of 10, recommend you throwing that up because I can't be the only one. Sometimes my searches bring up thousands of candidates. When you've got pages of 25, you are going to look for what you can see easily and at a glance, and that is that banner. So that's my 2 cents from today. And it's great to see everybody. I did just want to say hi to a couple of people. Bobby, before you even said, hey, I saw that you were here. Really nice to meet. We connected last week at the Mill Recruit virtual connection fair for Skillbridge. And also, Billy, it's lovely to see you here as well today. So back over to you, Mike.
I just want to double tap on that when I was on LinkedIn Recruiter for, a couple of weeks, just, helping out and playing around with it to get a better understanding. When I did a search, the first place I looked was the Open to Work. Like it's the first column. It's the first one because, those people want to talk for the most part. So thanks, Lucy. So I guess, hey, appreciate your engagement, everybody. Excited to hear where you're calling from or where you're listening from. And, just want to go ahead and pass it over to Lucy to talk about some hot jobs. Isn't that what we're here for?
We are here to talk about hot jobs today. But before we do that, why don't we share a couple of engagements and events that you've got in June? So you've got a couple of USO Mastering LinkedIn webinars going on. So the first one is this week, right?
Yep. So Thursday at 11 a.m., I have my Ask Mike series. So it's 2 hours of Ask Me Anything transition related. The only catch of that is you have to be working with the USO transitions team to participate in that one. So, but it's no worries. You could do like today, tomorrow, you could still register for it. And you just go type USO transitions into Google. It'll bring up their page. You click request to apply, and that's it. You get in, and they're still churning them out day of. So that's this Thursday from 11 to 1 typically. And then on the 20th, so 2 Thursdays after that, is my Mastering LinkedIn webinar. And that's 2 hours of everything you need to use this platform. And when I talk about this, it's not just how to create a profile to be found, right? It's about how to become known for something so that people think about you when a job comes open. I had somebody reach out to me yesterday about trying to fill a job somewhere that I know, amazing company, and I had to think about who could be a great fit that I could refer. And then the other part of it is how to intentionally build your network and gain information where you want to go. So if you want to go into a certain industry or certain role, certain location, how to connect with people there and learn what you need to make yourself a best candidate. It doesn't happen automatically, but you've got all the tools you need. And I'm going to show you step by step on the 20th.
Awesome. Thank you.
Over to you, Lucy.
So as we go into this, as I start to share the roles today, we will first of all talk about the permanent jobs that we are recruiting for at the moment. They are open to anybody in the military affiliated community. If you're a spouse, a veteran, transitioning service member, dependent, we welcome applications from everybody who has read the job description and feels that they are suitably qualified and has the right experience for the role. Then we will move on to the SkillBridge internships. If we don't have anything that works for you or sings to your soul today, I completely understand, but let us know. You can register on our website, both for either permanent jobs moving forward or for the SkillBridge side. And by doing so, as we get new roles in, we will connect with you. We will send those to you. You'll be the first to hear about them. Equally, when we recruit, we go to our databases first of all. So you will be in the database for us to be able to source and effectively then reach out and have a conversation with you. As we talk today about the roles, it's really hard for us to post the URLs as we go live. LinkedIn just loves to throw those out and delete them as soon as we hit enter. So if there is a position that you are interested in, you've got two options. Go straight to our website, hiremilitary.us, and you can search those roles. Or you can put interested in the comment, but tell us which role specifically you are interested in. We come back after the event, and if it just says interested, not just interested firefighter, it's really tricky and hard for us to know what you want us to share with you. One last thing before we go ahead, and I know I keep on saying this, but it is really worth your while taking a look at our website, hiremilitary.us, and going to the job seeker resource section. And the reason I share that with you is because we have written a really awesome piece. It's quite short, around how to target your resume, how to create a really competitive application, a really competitive resume that identifies why you would be perfect for the role that you're applying to. The biggest disconnect and the biggest frustration I have is I know that the applicant has submitted their resume because they're interested in the role and they think that they possibly have the experience. Well, I hope that that's the reason why. But I can't tell from the resume because effectively they are a stranger to me. I haven't been there for their 20-year career or their 10-year career. So I don't know what they've done outside of what they've listed. So I often can't see why they would be the solution to my corporate partner's problem, why they would be good and relevant for the role. So just by taking a look at that article, it really demonstrates how to do it, not just what to do, description, how to take your resume, and how to merge the two together. It's not a war and peace task. It really should only take 15 or 20 minutes, but it really does elevate any application that you make, and hopefully will result in an interview. Because ultimately, when you submit a resume, that is what, that's your first goal, that's your first objective, to get the interview. Once we get in front of people, we can have that conversation. So let's get going. What do we have to talk about today? So the first, we are working with a great food services company. They're a national company, and they have locations. Currently, we are recruiting for in Louisville, Kentucky, Detroit, Michigan, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Farmers Branch, Texas, and Denver, Colorado for regional managers. They are a national food services company that provide ready-to-go food to major grocery stores across the US. So really think about it. As you walk into your grocery store, what do you see? You see the sushi counter, you see the deli, you see the cut produce. That is what they do. That is the service that they provide, and they are looking for regional managers in those areas. When I met with them today, I said, if I could make your life better right now, which roles would you like us to find candidates for? They said specifically the Louisville, Kentucky. They have LA as well, so Los Angeles, Baton Rouge, and the Detroit. So if you are in that area, if you are looking to relocate, if you think that that could be of interest and you would like to read a little bit more, do connect, let us know, and we will share that detail with you. At their corporate headquarters based out of Dallas, so Farmers Branch, so the northwest of the city, they have got some great roles for veterans and military spouses. HR coordinator being one. So I would really love to fill that role with somebody from our population. So if you have worked in HR previously, specifically recruiting, and you'll be working with us at Higher Military, so it would be a double whammy. It would be great. Please do connect. I would love to share that information. In addition, they have sales managers nationally, and locally there in Dallas, they have a NetSuite coordinator role. So if any of those sound like they could be of interest, please do let me know. Pivoting hugely into the most corporate of the corporate sectors, we have manager and senior manager roles with one of the big 4 global consulting firms. If you're not familiar with those, think KPMG, Deloitte, PwC, and EY. And we are working with them to provide consultants on the, the Army Internal Audit Program. So we're looking for those who have worked in finance and accounting within the federal government previously. If you have that experience, at least 4 years, but ideally 6, so that we can get you to the senior manager level, do let us know. A secret clearance is required for this one, and equally a bachelor's degree in one of those finance, accounting, IT subjects, or an MBA would suffice as well. That would cover us. If you have a CPA, if you have a CDFM, if you have a CGFM, that would make you an even more appetizing candidate. But ultimately, if you've got that experience, if you are in the DC metro area, if you are interested in hearing more, please do let us know. Before I move on, is there anything that you wanted to add, Mike?
I just want to add that if you have any financial management, any supporting the audit that's taking place for any of the services, that this is a fantastic starter job for you, for your experience to really get out there and work for an amazing company on an amazing project. I worked on the Army Audit Readiness contract for 2 years and loved every minute of it. Like, there's nothing better, especially since I have a tough box full of equipment in my basement, so that they wouldn't allow me to turn back. I'm assuming some point in the near future, they're going to start tracking that so much better. And if you want to be a part of that and do something you love, that's a challenge, but still kind of aligned with what you know, not just Army wise, I would definitely reach out to Lucy. These are incredible opportunities.
Thank you. So let's talk SkillBridge. But before we start, it's always really handy to go over what SkillBridge is. So ultimately, it is an internship that those who are on active duty can take part in during their last 180 days of active duty. The internships ordinarily are being authorized right now for between 90 to 120 days. That really does depend on your branch and your command. And it allows you to take part in essentially a try before you buy in the corporate sector, to trial a role in the commercial environment, to get a complete understanding and overview of what the sorts of things you could be doing post-active duty in the area or the industry that you really are interested in. So as an example, we have so many people, Mike, don't we, that have worked in HR in the military and then just, absolutely auto go, yep, I'm going to work in HR. I'm going to get a job in HR post-active duty.
Mm-hmm.
And it does work out for some people, but for a lot of people, it doesn't quite, because the two roles may have the same job title, but ultimately the functions are slightly different. Would you agree?
I would. Well, what I'll say is that there's gaps, right? There's
Mm-hmm.
the function of HR in the military, and then the private sector, there's working with the HRIS systems, there's employee and labor law, there's, the hiring processes, there's onboarding, there's things that are just done differently in the private sector. And here's the deal. Like if you have 5-10 years of experience in HR in the military, and you get 3 to 4 months full-time at a company working on those things, they go on your resume. Not only do you demonstrate to the company you've learned it and are going to knock it out of the park, because you get 3 to 4 months working with the hiring manager, once it's on your resume, those gaps are pretty much closed. And then you're so much more marketable elsewhere as well. So, it gives you a chance to try out the employer and make sure that's the best environment for you. It gives the employer the chance to just take a swing on talent, right? Hire someone because they seem like to be a great fit and teach them what they know. There's no better program out there. So I am a huge proponent of starting early, getting command approval. If the command doesn't approve, asking what you can do to get them to approve, and then really working with people like Lucy and Amber to figure out what's the right fit for you.
Perfect. So let's talk about SkillBridge and the roles that we have at present. So the first opportunity I'm going to discuss, and there may be a bit of back and forth between me and Mike, is actually an entrepreneurial one. So a lot of people that we work with know that they want to run their own business once they're out of the military, but don't necessarily know the steps, the processes, everything that entails. So going back to that National Food Services company that we talked about earlier, they are offering 90 to 120 days SkillBridge internships where you get to learn how to run your own business. So you would run for that period of time and be responsible and accountable for one of those counters that we mentioned. So the sushi, if you feel like, during your last 3 or 4 months of active duty, you want to make sushi or do cut produce or work behind the deli and support that element. But it's much more than that. Yeah, that's the day-to-day activity in terms of the role, but you learn everything that goes into managing your own operation. These are actually franchises within grocery stores ordinarily. And so you will learn how to run a P&L, how to manage operations, be trained and to train people. It will be a hands-on apprenticeship for you to really gain real-world experience and learn the ins and outs of running a successful business, hopefully. You'll get mentorship, which is really important. You'll get that guidance and support from seasoned entrepreneurs who've been there, done that, got the t-shirt, and who will be able to support you. You'll be able to ask anything, you'll be able to see everything, and you'll be able to get an idea of how to, from beginning to end, run your own company. And finally, for me, the best part is really learning the best practices, learning how to do it from people who have been in business, successful business, for a really long time. At the end of it, if you're like, wow, this is really interesting and I absolutely love it, there is the opportunity to make it a permanent arrangement. But if not, that's absolutely fine. What they are looking for is people to come in, learn it. They want to train you for 3 to 4 months so that you can then go out into the outside world, the civilian world, with some really good experience and learning. Moving on.
Oh, before you go.
Go for it.
Yeah, so I want people to think about this because I don't think a lot of transitioning military realize what an opportunity this is. When I had the idea to become the founder of and create Hire Military, I had to invest all of my savings. Like, here's all of my savings to build the platform originally, right? With an idea. And I see so many other people say they want to start a business and, they don't have any business lined up. They don't have business experience. They don't know how to invoice. They don't all the things are missing. And so there's like this kind of like spinning phase where you don't get anywhere for years unless you have the right mentors, right? And then there's the cost of doing business, the startup costs you would typically need for anywhere else. If you're going to get a franchise, usually there's a franchise fee up front. So you have a franchise fee to get started, and then you go learn the job, and then you give them a percentage. Here's the deal. There's no fee up front. You don't have to invest your money to try it before you buy it. Like, you literally get a chance to go run a business for 3 to 4 months and decide whether you want it, and you will know how much money's coming in and how much money's going out before you make that decision. You will know what hours are required. You will know where you're working, right? And you'll be able to make an educated decision. There is everyone I've talked to who's been out for a while is like, I wish this opportunity existed when I was still in. And I will tell you, the only franchise that is probably a lot better than this, I hate to say it, is like Chick-fil-A, but you're talking 3.5 years to get a franchise, and because you get your Sundays off. But I mean, other than that, I mean, like, come on, like, take advantage of this and really lean forward and see if you want to run a business. If you don't, you get 3 to 4 months of business experience. That's like knock your socks off amazing. So Lucy, back over to you.
Thanks, Mike. I've got 2 more opportunities I wanted to share today. One is working as an account executive. Ultimately, this is business development, but it's outbound. It's not inbound. If you're not familiar with that term, it means that people are calling into you, and you are not cold calling. This is for an awesome organization based out of Austin. So if Austin is in your future and you would like to get some great SkillBridge internship, business development and recruiting experience there, connect with us. This is with a company called GetScale. And basically what they do is they offer their clients end-to-end customer acquisition and recruitment as a service. So if somebody is interested in becoming an Uber driver, as an example, they will call into this number and you will discuss with them and ultimately develop that business or sell them the opportunity to become an Uber driver. It's a high volume role, and you will provide outreach to warm prospects. So like I said, it's very much inbound. There is a hybrid work schedule, but it doesn't go over your 40 hours a week, and you can work in office and have the ability to work from home for a few days. So if Austin, Texas is a location you'd like to land, do connect with us and we can share more.
Can I add one thing? The difference between a doer, manager, and an executive is usually business development, revenue development experience. So if you don't have that experience, it's going to be hard, dealing with profit and loss, driving business, growing revenue. It's going to be hard for you to get beyond the manager level on things. And so I can't recommend these opportunities enough for people to get 3 to 4 months of experience with sales. And they're going to train you. They're going to give you the platform. They're going to do all of that. So just keep it in mind wherever you are in your career. Back over for the last one, Lucy.
The last one, and then we do have a couple more opportunities to share afterwards. So the last one you would have heard Amber and I talk about previously is working with Skillstorm. It is an AWS Solutions Architect remote SkillBridge internship. It's going to take you from not knowing very much about IT to having 3 cyber certifications, huge amounts of internship experience, paid training experience afterwards to learn to become a cloud solutions architect. And then once you pass the final test, they will deploy you into quite large federal integrators. So think Booz Allen, Tech Systems, to become a AWS cloud solutions architect. So it literally just takes you from beginning to absolute end in terms of getting that final role. There is the full intent to hire. And that is also something I want to make everybody aware of. Any company that we work with has a full intent to hire post-internship. Whether you choose to take that role or not is completely up to you. The start is the 22nd of July on these ones. We are nearly finished on completing the cohort, but we can add 1 or 2 more in if you are interested. You also need to have a TS clearance, and that is an absolute deal breaker. I cannot, unfortunately, have a conversation with anybody right now who has anything less than that. But do connect directly with me on that one, because I am sending over the final candidates this week. And if you are interested, let's get the ball rolling and get you on that. Finally, Mike, we do have a few roles. You mentioned our corporate sponsors at the beginning. I'm going to share some of their opportunities. So one of them, National Testing Network, they highlight police and firefighter EMT opportunities across the US. So if you are like, oh, that sounds kind of interesting, the roles that we are looking at right now are in Washington State, Colorado, the DC metro area, and Ohio. However, if you want to hear more and the location that you want to end up in is not one of those four, let me know, because I think we will be able to connect you with them and find if there are opportunities in your location. So if you've got that experience before or not, connect and we can share that. Working with Horizon Strategies, they are also a service-disabled, veteran-owned small business like us. They have some great roles. They are recognized as one of the top aerospace and defense consulting service companies. They've got a fire planner position in Fort Shafter, Hawaii. They have got a lead refiner representative in Fort Knox, Kentucky. So if you're in that area, kind of interested in hearing a bit more about that, let me know. But something new that they've added with us this week is based out of Arlington, Virginia. This is initially a 6-month contract, but a lessons learned subject matter expert program manager. It's a program manager role. It does require a secret clearance, though. Great opportunity. And I think that we'll have quite a few people in our population, in our community, that might be interested in that one. Finally, 2 more. Acuity International, one of our favorites. If you don't necessarily want to stay in the US, you want to find a role overseas again, you want to be in that deployed environment, Iraq, Somalia, all the great places. Lots of people are interested, though. We have got healthcare and security roles. Working with them, they provide process and tech-based critical services for government and commercial enterprises. Great positions with them. So let me know or take a look at our website. And finally, you mentioned Paint Core at the beginning, because we were meant to have Burgess with us today, but unfortunately he's sick. Veteran service brands, they're absolutely what they say on the tin. They are a brand, 4 brands, 4 companies, but all owned by veterans. So it is a home away from home in terms of community. The brands are Mach1 epoxy flooring, Paint Core, so residential and commercial painting. What else have we got? Athletic field striping, and G-Force, which is parking lot striping. All things that we see on a daily basis, but we don't necessarily know how they got there. They've got huge businesses coming out of them. And actually today, they advertised their 68th franchise owner, which I'm excited about. They have both mine and Mike's hearts. We are staunch champions and believers in their operation. They are just the best organization. The CEO is a dear friend through working with us. And I would give them a 10 out of 10 and huge encouragement if you were interested in hearing more any day of the week.
And can I add, I know we're a couple minutes over, but I will add that the Mach1 epoxy flooring team is at our CEO's house right now, redoing his garage floors. And I'm headed there after this to go check it out. I want to play on the equipment, get some photos, not get too dirty. But I'm excited to see the team in action. I just love what all brands, veteran service brands, do. So they're just a great team.
Wonderful. Look, Nick's put there. They're there right now. Mike, thank you for your time today. Everybody else, thank you so much for joining. It's always a pleasure. And we look forward to connecting with you again next week, Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Have wonderful weeks. Take care.